We continue today in chapter 7. Chapter 7, in one word, Yehuda. We're speaking about God's unity. Yesterday we spoke about Tzimtzum, contraction. And as the Alter Rebbe learns this concept from the Arizal, it's not literal. God did contract himself out, remove himself. But the essence of God is found in a way that is far beyond what we can grasp and understand in this world. Now, there's other dimensions of God's creative power that is here. And we're going to speak about two other dimensions. One is called an encompassing light, and the other one is a permeating light. Encompassing suggests something from above, permeating something from within. But the truth is, even when we speak about the encompassing light of God, it's also from within, meaning it's from within this world. Well, it's encompassing. I'm encompassing this. I'm over it. I'm not in it. I'm not permeated within it. I'm over it. That's what encompassing would mean. Yet, God's encompassing light, that is infinite, is still within this world. So why do we use the word encompassing? Well, like my mug, trach good wird sein good. Think good, it'll be good. So here I have this mug and I have a vision of it in my head. So the term that we use, it's encompassed in my mind. My thought encompasses it. Take a moment, close your eyes, and think about your family coming together for Shabbos. You haven't seen your family for a long time. Coming together for the holiday, coming together for a joyous occasion. And you have that entire scene in your head. The moment you stop thinking it, it ceases to exist. One point. Another point is, the term that we use is it's encompassed in your mind, the thought. So, likewise God, he encompasses everything in his mind. Difference is, I only have the image of this cup in my mind. God has the very cup itself, the very me itself, the very scene that you think of. You think it, it exists. You stop thinking it, it ceases to exist. God, the difference is encompassing in his thought, in his knowledge, is thinking of that which is of him, not outside of him. And therefore it's totally dependent on his thought, on his knowledge, his awareness, for the actual mug to exist, not just the image of the mug, as it is in my mind. So why do we call it encompassed? Because vis-a-vis the created thing, it doesn't feel the impact. Something that permeates, you sense the impact. Something that is encompassing is beyond it. It doesn't have, or you don't sense the impact. So God's encompassing light in creation is not something that we experience its impact. So in that sense, it's encompassing rather than permeating. Now, there's a further contracted light of God that is permeating. So the metaphor for that is like the soul permeates the body, and gives contracted form of power or functionality to different limbs of the body. My eye to see, my ear to hear, and so on. Meaning that there's a reduced form of light of the soul that's contracted uniquely into everything. It permeates it. It doesn't encompass it. In other words, it's from within the created thing. It becomes a part of it from within, and therefore that's what makes everything different and unique. Again, by way of metaphor, that I'm one body, one person, and yet, my soul vests itself, permeates, contracts itself in a reduced manner that the light of the soul gives my eye to see, my ear to hear, and my hand to, act like a hand, not like an eye. That is the permeating light of God from within creation, which undergoes a lot more of a contraction, reduction of the infinite light, and it becomes a finite light, and therefore can permeate and impact in a, shall we say, in a visible manner that makes a stone, an animal, and me and you, who we are. So what do we have? Encompassing light and a permeating light of God. Encompassing ultimately is responsible for the creation of something from nothing. And the permeating functionality is to bring into creation all of the various types of created beings in its limited, unique, defined, created being that it is. Again, stone, tree, an animal, a human. Short class. This is important for us to understand the unity and the oneness of God. So God did not contract himself out of this world. He's in this world in 3 dimensions: the essence, encompassing, and permeating fashion. The essence is beyond any kind of description. Encompassing, even though it is beyond something that we can fathom, yet it's encompassing of something, so therefore it's relative to that which it's encompassing, which is creation. So it encompasses, meaning that the light is too great and therefore it doesn't impact in a visible or demonstrative way within the created thing, right? Otherwise it would be too powerful for it and it wouldn't be able to exist. And then the permeating light of God that is from within, that is the force and light of God that makes distinctions between one created thing and another created thing, which that will have more to come to explain. And that's all in order to understand God's unity, God's presence. For simple-minded folk, just say, well, there's God, and of course God sees everything, and God knows everything, and maybe you might say that's sufficient. Like, what are we grappling here with? The essence of God, the encompassing light of God, the permeating light of God. Like, come on. Enough already. I know there's a God. I believe. Oh, famous story of the Mizrachi Magid when he went off to study Hasidus. So when he came back, so it wasn't, I think it was the Mizrachi Magid, I'm not certain 100%. He came back to know, so what did you accomplish with all your studies of with the master, the Baal Shem Tov, with Hasidic teachings? So I know there's a God. Huh. So his father-in-law laughed at him. You know, that's what all you went to study. So he called his helper in the house, a simple Jew, and he asked him, Yankel, do you believe in God? I said, Rabbi, what kind of question? Of course. So I said, no. So you went to study all these years and that's all you came back with? I said, no, you don't understand. He believes in God. I know there's a God. What we're trying to do over here is to have a knowledge, an awareness, and not just bear a simplistic belief. Now, simplistic belief is not something to throw away and to diminish, but that's how Chabad is. Chabad is about having something real, having something significant that is truly something we own rather than just something that we're given. So our soul is given a belief in God. And based on that soul, you could be a believer, and we are believers, no doubt. But what the Alter Rebbe is trying to do with us is to have it something that becomes so real with us that it's not just a belief, but it's something that we live with in a real way, and this permeates us because we have an understanding, as best, of course, as we can understand, as best as we wrap our minds around what we're learning. That is what we're trying to accomplish here. So don't get deterred by the fact that, a lot of details over here, and I'm not really getting what all of the significance is. Just know that the more we grapple with and try to understand the presence of God in this world, the power of Creator within creation, the more what we're doing is molding and shaping our brains and our minds, that we should move away from having a natural attitude based on the human condition that worldliness, materiality is real, and God is like a novelty, is a novelty in the sense that, this is real, this is real. We should move away from that. And what's real? Torah mitzvahs, davening, learning Torah, God's realness in our lives, the presence, the divine presence of God, and so on. So we got to learn and learn and learn and wrap our minds around it. All right, folks, I hope that was clear. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from my home in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Please, likewise, share. As I share, you can share likewise by sharing this with others. Have a wonderful day.